Well, greetings everyone. It's been a good time it's been a good long time since we've been on air here. Welcome to We Heal Nations. This is Vaughn, or known as Vaughn L, and presently now, Chief Firewata. I'll tell you the story behind that one. Anyway, just to catch up, and I hope you guys have been doing your cleansing of self and going inside of yourself and doing your own little rituals to take care of, to connect with the universe and to connect with your God self that shows you your way to freedom. And when I say freedom, it's more of the mind than the body. So once that is free, you're capable of doing anything. And I'm saying just about anything because I'm going to reveal what's been going on with me. And if this does not give you some sense of, inspiration and hope, I don't know what else to tell you. Because I'm not saying I've been through the worst things ever. There's a lot of people that's been through more terrible things than I have. And, I send them light, send them love, and I send them the strength that, was able to cover me. I send them and I connect with them so that they can get through their trials and be triumphant and, be able to do their checkmate on the board of life. So welcome everyone again. I'm Vaughn, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm telling you, I welcome the adventures and the waves and the fire and the ice. I welcome all of it because it is a journey and it's very, very uplifting because you have to find it laughable in order to move to the next stage. And so because I am who I am, and because I am persistent in being successful in my journey to complete freedom of this system and its illusion of authority over the live life man and woman, not the assumption of man and woman written on a piece of paper, right? And a lot of it too that people may put on a document is really assumptions. It's a story. What if you're not now in the realization that everything could be just a story, which some of it is truth and some of it not. So it has to, when you do your deep inner search, you are able to see the crap that is presented versus the reality and the truth. You're going to be sensible to know, okay, well, this makes more sense, but that kind of iffy with me with that one. I'm not sure about that. So this is the journey. You have to let go all of the belief systems. I say have to. Well, you can choose not to. But if you really want to make the evolution to your next level in this game of life, it really is essential that anything that you've been taken as real needs to be let go in your experience, that particular experience, because for everything there is a truth and there's a level of remedy in your struggles. So if you're holding on to something that can block the vision of the truth or the vision of the sensible action or sensible path to take, you're going to have a longer time and a difficult road. So for everybody, their journey is different. And I know there are people telling me, oh, you're so hard-headed, Vaughn. Why don't you just do it this way? Because there's this person who was successful this way. But you know what? I really thought about that. I did. I went inside of myself. Yes, I could be very stubborn. And yes, I could be wanting to make a point and prove a point. And yes, sometimes I just want to stick it in people's face, right? But I took some time, especially I had no choice when they kidnapped me the last time, right? The thing is, when I was hogtied and pushed into a car, a vehicle, a policy enforced vehicle, I was laughing. I was saying to myself, you could hogtie my body, but my mind is still completely free. Like, can you hogtie my mind? Can you hogtie my brain? No, you can't. So, in essence, this is just a vessel doing a work that I volunteered to do. And I am stubborn, yes, that's that part of me. And I will be successful in it and I will win you. So that's what was going through my mind. So the fear was not there, folks. Even though it was the second time and I knew the road. It was a second path of road. But you know what? My ancestors had me go through. It was like, I sent you, Vaughn, I sent you so much messages and you didn't get them. So I'm going to send you back here so you could see it more clearly. That's how I took it. I didn't take it in a negative. And I started to look with those eyes of, okay, what did I miss? What kind of, why are you putting me through this again for me to see? What is it am I supposed to see that I didn't quite pick up the first time? And is this a test? Is it a test so I can pass it and go on to the next level? And I decided, okay, yes, it is a test. So when this time I was dragged back in, everything started to connect. Everything started to connect. I mean, it connected before, but I started to see how it connected, and I started to see the actual war on us, so I was going to the grocery store on Thursday. I went to the Thursday of I think that was what date was the 21st of March. I was going to the grocery store for some, my granddaughter was coming the Monday and this was the Friday, and this was Thursday. So she loves cucumbers and she loves croissant and she loves apple pies, but I didn't get apple pies. I found my favorite, which was the almond croissants, and I got her the butter croissants, and I got some cucumbers, and I was in such a beautiful mood. And I'm walking out of the grocery store and I saw a police car, and I'm looking and I'm smiling, I'm walking, and the beast, or I don't even call them a police, the dog catcher or whatever, because they're not acting like we are humans. Basically, they see us as food, folks. I'm serious. They see us as an opportunity to make sure they get paid, because the city and everybody has no money. Canada is in insolvency. So the only way they can have access to anything is the trade that they do behind the scenes in the courts. The court is like Wall Street. Yes, folks, it's Wall Street. So there's a series of so-called judges, because there's no real judge, and you could verify that, because I think it's the year 86 or 1789. I don't know, somewhere around there. That was the last time they had a real judge on the land, and it's supposed to be Article 3. I say most of the time when I speak to these people, I try to say it in my dialect, in a dialect. I create my own sometimes, because language is loud, folks. So you don't have to talk like them, because if you talk like them, you're going in their jurisdiction. So remember, it says jurisdiction. Your diction tells who has authority upon the land. So when we talk like this, me and the one with the authority, when they try to force me to talk French, them in authority. So at times me would talk like this. So a few times they tried to get me and say, oh, it's time to take your fingerprints. I said, I'm not a no, this is what I said. Me not waive my rights, and me not no criminal. Okay? So at that point they can't do anything, right? So people, you have to know who you are and know your rights, because you have the rights. You can waive your rights or reserve your rights. I reserve it at all times. And when they pick me up, I told them I do not consent. I'm being kidnapped. I'm not a rat, because I did not commit a crime. Okay? My crime is being who I am. For them. For them, being who I am means that I'm not abiding by Quebec laws. But as far as I know, Quebec did not sign any agreement with the United States of America, right? I'm not talking about the United States minor, which is just in Washington, D.C. I've been over these lessons before, and people must start to research that there are different. There's United States of America major, which includes all the states on the land, not just over here, the whole planet. Then there's United States, which is the United States in Washington, D.C. itself. That is like a foreign entity. And then there's another United States where they register also within the United States corporation. I know it's very confusing. It's so confusing. It took me a while to get it, but I got it. And even if they claim this was their new world, and they created their First Nations and so forth, people don't understand the First Nations that they have and the indigenous people are the ones they brought with them to say this is their First Nations and indigenous people within those jurisdictions I just mentioned. The United States, right? And the United States of America. Now, prior to the New World, we were here. So when you say you are sovereign, that's what it means. You're on your land prior to the 1300s Magna Carta, and you can look that up. I'm done with explaining and reading stuff out. People, you need to do the work, because this is why I'm at this point in my overstanding and inner standing, and this is why I can stand fully on my square. Okay? Despite anything, I had no fears because I know who I am. So I want you to know that Vaughn is well. And even more so, I am high-spirited because I can see clearly now. Right? And it's not just for me and my family. I feel good in the sense that I feel like I've accomplished something. I felt yesterday I went to the city of Montreal for the first time, and I should have been going. Yes, I had to spank my test. I should have been going more often. And but that I'm not going back there because they're acting well, like I said, they are acting, and they're in right now treason. They're committing treason because of the fact of what I know, all the things that are going on. Now, I say that, remember, okay, the last paper document or doctrine that it created to commit genocide, but on paper, was the doctrine of discovery, right? I probably would read a little bit of it if I have it in front of me, but because like I am in a spot where it's so comfortable right now. It's kind of damp today, folks, and I'm wearing a sweater. I'm actually videotaping this as well. I'm not going live because I'm limited in data, and I have to use that right now because I'm in transition of getting my internet and so forth. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I don't want to not speak about certain things, but right now, tonight, I'm focusing on explaining stuff based on my experience, so that you can get it and connect how it applies to you. Even though it's not the same experience that I'm going through, you can see how it applies to you and what is your responsibility to maintain your freedom and your sovereignty in order to transform your life for the next 7 generations. And especially for the women who think that they have no power. Again, especially for the women who think that they have no power. Yes, the womb of man. The womb of man. That alone is powerful, folks. And you should research everything about the womb. The womb is a portal. The womb is water. Water is life. The womb is so much. The womb holds DNA. It holds so much from your ancestors, your grandmother and your mother. It's all there. That alone is a library. You know how much power you have? And knowing this, you can heal anything. You can heal. You can remove things from your body just by your thoughts. And I am proof of that. These people force medicated me. And the reason they picked me up this time because they thought I would be like, and then be able to take over the estate. That was the only mission. Because the forced medication was supposed to make me completely inept. This is what's going on, folks. It's happened here before. It happens in the United States. It happens all over the world. Stop turning your backs. Stop it. Stop it. Stand up and say something when you see something. Stand up and do something when you know something. I am so fed up with that. People just turning their back and say, well, the authorities must be right, you know? Come on, folks. Come on. There are people here in Montreal who just watching what's happening to me and my son and my grandchildren and just feel like, what? You know, like, just like, well, it's their country. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's no country. There is land and we are the land. Your body is the land. Do you get that? You are that you are. You are earth people. You are connected. I'm sorry, I'm very emotional. But this is me. And I love me. And you have to start loving yourself. You have to start loving yourself because that's the only way you're going to see what's really happening. That's the only way. You are programmed right now to be comfortable and okay with what's happening because there is something that's keeping you, some kind of fear mechanism putting you, which includes all the in vaccinations, all the stuff, all the television stuff, all of these things amounts to, and your schooling, it amounts to the blockage that made you forget that you are creator. Your thoughts create, and then there's action, right? Well, I already said from the time they picked me up, I'm going to get out of there. I'm not staying here more than a week. Even though they violate. I see their criminality, but I'm saying I'm here for a purpose, and my ancestors just showing me something, and I saw. So I got to the first detention center, and it was filthy because the intention is for it to be filthy so you can be sick, right? But my immune system is so powerful, folks, because I turned 59 and I don't care. People say you shouldn't be telling your age. But I flip it. I say 5 + 9 is 14. I have a body of a 14-year-old. I am 14 years old. And that's what my mind says. And that's what it is. I am healthy. I am powerful. I am that I am. And nobody is going to take that away from me. You could lock me up, hog tie me. You could do all you want to do. I am creator. I'm creating my own. Yes, you can detain me for a while. But I'm Victorious Vaughn. Okay? I'm Victorious Vaughn. So I want you to know this. Take your experience. This may seem difficult in the moment. It may seem like, oh my God, I can't make it, but you chose to do it. And you have the answer in it. There's always, you have the remedy in it. It's nobody outside of you. It's no hope rally. It's you. It's you. That's what I discovered. And my ancestors brought me this message. He said, you have to tell all of it, Vaughn. You have to tell the story. You came to do this so you can tell the story. Okay? So from that place where it was filthy and disgusting, they rushed me to another trial. I went through 3 trials before, and they condemned me to the sentence was to penal, right? It's a penal institute that said that I was inept. Okay? That was the sentence, to stay there for 30 days to be force medicated, folks. Think about that. For somebody who claims to be a judge, right? And I'll tell you why they're doing it. She is a lawyer acting as a judge. They're acting, folks. They're acting. So she already claimed the estate, or the name, all caps, Vanessa Edwards, right? And everybody's name on that documents is going to get paid. I'm going to tell it like it is. I am going to tell it like it is. Now, I have to either the forcing you to do a plea, guilty or not guilty, it doesn't matter. It's still payable because they have your information on there. Now, I didn't give anybody any information. It was taken through threat, duress, and coercion. The police busted down the door and they searched and got information that was in my private property without a search warrant. These people are demonic. That's what democracy is. Tell me you're okay with that. Are you okay with that? Really? Are you okay with that? All right? You know why they're claiming now, after they made their mistake when they busted down that door in 2017, I think. Not 2017, 2019. When we claim who we are, they switched because there was like 10 police officers, and 6 of them pulled themselves out of it because they were lawful. So instead of saying we apologize and whatever, this ambitious jerk switched it and said we assaulted them. This guy put his knee on my son's neck, okay? And saying that my son had his fist held up like he wanted to attack, and that was the assault, okay? I was charged, my son was charged, and then he said he's going to come back and take the children, the grandchildren. So that's 3 generations. That's what you would call treason. And what is the penalty for treason? The death penalty. There's there's a U.S. code, and because it says this is Canada, they always like to say you're in Canada, it's not the U.S. And I always remind them by asking them, so where is Canada located? And then they would say North, and then they would stop. North America, right? As soon as they say no, and their mouth would open, and they would stop, right? I said when we were here, we had no borders from south to north, no borders. So stop with the story about coming here. So we started way before that. How could a person just appear from slavery and then you have no proof? How come everything else is documented, but the documents does not show that myself, and my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather was on such a boat, and that the only records that I found were records of the lightest skinned man and woman. And I have to say that because there is definition for black and white, and it has nothing to do with your color of your skin. Okay? It has to do with your origins. Right? And it's just paper genocide. That's what it is. So when you say you're a black man, it means that you're a dead man. Black is dead, folks. You have no rights in law. You have no rights. So I got used to saying I'm the organic woman of the earth. And there's proof of that. In the meeting yesterday, I made one of the main reasons I went to that city meeting is that now it's permanently public notice that I corrected them when they said Vanessa Edwards. I said that is the legal person. However, I am organic woman on my land. I am the organic woman of this land. And there's a difference. If you look up person, I said it before. A corporation can be called a person. It's a legal person. We're all legal persons with that all caps. It is not you. It's a persona. It's an actor. But when you sign, you're signing. You have to know how to sign. You're signing that the actor is actually you. And that's why they could take your flesh and blood body. I've never signed anything. I've never consented to anything. So basically, it's a conspiracy to commit genocide. They're dishonorable. And there ought to be justice for dishonorable people. They need to get what is coming to them. I'm not going to be the one doing it. So if you want to continue being Black community, Jamaica Association, St. Vincent and Grenadines Associates, that doesn't describe you as a people. Trinidad and Tobago, this and that and that. This is why when they were looking to get the carnival going in Montreal, and they have you as the Black and Cultural Carifesta Committee or Association, you have no rights to anything. Absolutely no rights. That's why they could not let you have it. That's why for their agenda is more important, because their agenda is for the Pride Parade that took over your spot when you used to get 2 million or whatever plus. The Pride Parade, then the Jamaica, not the Jamaica, so the reggae festival that used to be at the waterfront, which, by the way, a lot of my proposal included the waterfront before they used to do any festivals or anything at the waterfront. I have documents that I submitted, and I still have them on my computer, and I could prove that I created a lot of stuff that they copied and did, right? So, yeah. So when they could take away from the Reggae Fest and put in the Cirque du Soleil, and they took away, I could go on and on and on, the Jazz Festival, and oh my God, these people, you are the creators. But because you keep saying you're a Black and you're proud Black, that's what happens, right? That is what happens. Now, when you wake up, and I'm hoping that my contribution and sacrifices help you to be triggered enough to say, oh my gosh, I gotta find out. I gotta go check this out. Instead of judging and saying, whatever might be going through your mind, because there's different levels of this journey, right? So, yes, you might have some doubts, but verify what I'm saying. Verify what I'm saying and go within and seek the truth. The truth always sets you free. The freeing of this demonstration I did yesterday, it was so beautiful. I felt so good, even though, because people think that you're doing something and you expect something to happen right away. Like people, well, what did they say and what did it was, I didn't hear what they say. Because you know what happened? The mayor and the council for the area disappeared for a while. Probably in conversation and asking themselves questions like, what are they going to do? Because really, at the end, I said they should be fired. And I meant that. Because they have no clue that they're aligning themselves with people who have sworn to plunder, rape, steal, murder. In order to get their 250,000 something a year. Yeah, that's how much some of these councils make. Right? So my question was very pertinent. The question is as follows. It's not exactly how I said it, but I know what I said. So it says, considering the fact that the Security Exchange reveals that Canada is in insolvency and the Pope has denounced the doctrine of discovery, how is it? Please explain how the city of Montreal is having a budget. How is it funded? Like, just explain that to me. I know how it is, but they don't know how to. So they proceeded to say all this thing about taxes and so. But all of that, it's the people that the doctrine of discovery. They're saying that it's no longer. You have to stop doing it. But they're telling me that tax from this and tax from that, from the people, the organic people of the land. And what happened to me is how they're funding it. They're funding it with those people here from St. Vincent, Barbados, all of those people who have low-income housing. Instead, when they give you, I'll give an example. Okay, I have a check here I never cashed. My God, my Creator told me not to cash it. I didn't know why, I just never cashed it. Okay? So I went back to look at the check. And the check says 6 cents, written 6 cents. Because what they would do is do some asterisk going across and put the amount. Bear in mind that I've been studying a lot of things in banking. And I know in banking, it's the written out amount that matters, not when they put the number amount. Okay? Yes, folks. In written hand especially. Because it is the person, your credit, right? It's a credit. There's no money. There haven't been money since 1933. Because it wasn't backed by anything. What is it backed by? Chattel. Contracts, services, red zone, white zone, blue zone, yellow zone, poor relief, so if they said you got, say, $50 a week for poor relief, multiply that by 200, that's how much for each person they actually took out. So when I checked the check, it says 6 cents, but it shows $600. So imagine, say that is 1% of what they give me. So how much are they do? This is the proof that I have of their wickedness and disgusting, vile demon selves. And a lot of people know this is going on, but they sold out. I am not a sellout first of all. You're not going to give me a car and this and that, and I feel and I see my people suffering. Listen. This is not how it's meant to be. There are people here. If the people in Montreal are from the islands are doing well, they sold out. If they have certain cushy jobs, they sold out. I'm telling you, they sold out. They sold out. In St. Vincent, if they're doing well, they sell you out. Okay? So this is what my ancestors had me go back and see and do this. Because when I got there, folks, one of the young ladies, a Haitian she's not a young lady, she's ageable. But we look young. She's at least in her late 40s. She didn't tell me her age. But she's one of those who went through a lot of sex slaves going on in all over the world. And there was a young lady whose mother was murdered when she was 6. She was on the street since then. This is what my ancestors had me go and see. They moved people from where they brought me because they know that I'm open. They know my eyes are open. They know that I see things. So One of the girls told me, before they a whole bunch of crazy things were happening. They move half the people out, more than half the people out of this section just before you came, and the whole place is full. The whole place is full. Stop just looking and just saying like nothing is happening. The place is, this place that they had me after they moved me from that detention center. They put me at the women's prison. It was a men's prison before that, and it was shut down because it was not fit for human. But they're reopening it. It's still not fit for humans. And I discovered that they're making drugs there as well. Because a lot of these women have become addicted to medication. So they would be, every now and again, they'll call out on anybody for infirmary, you need to see the nurse. Listen, this is the perfect way for them to push their agendas. Kidnapping people off the street. One woman just moved here from Manitoba, and she said twice in 1 week the police picked her up for stupid shit. I'm telling you. An argument. Somebody accusing her of stealing something. Back in the day, the police used to come and talk to you and ask you a question and so forth. Even shoplifters, they will say, okay, I'm taking you to your mom, and they go on your talk. Things like, they don't do that. No. They pick you up and toss you and make a contract so that they can get paid. They trade you all over the flipping place. All these lawyers, all these bar association lawyers, they have their own stock exchange. And we are the stock. Listen, I didn't even plan to go down this road in this program, and this is where, I'm telling you, this is what my ancestors wanted me to do. Because I held back, and that was the test. That was the test, folks. And I feel so much better now that I'm just releasing it. So they had planned for me to come home, to come back in the cell and be like inept. But they saw this bright-eyed, even younger looking woman. And then the funny thing is, I had requested the last time to see, because they have a chapel there. And I don't go to church, but I just wanted to see, why is this guy here? And if he really is private. So twice I asked to speak to him, and they didn't let me, right? So this time I put it down right away. They didn't respond. But when they didn't get me to cooperate, they allowed me just to see what I'm going to say. And I was really testing to see if he was legit. I found out this man is on cocaine. One of the girls in there told me she saw him, so he's on cocaine. And he is a counselor to these young ladies. Right? So anyway, I went and I spoke to him, and I said, I was being force medicated the last time, and I'm quite clear. Right? And I said, I asked him, I said, do you know the penalty for this? Do you know the charges that can come? This is conspiracy to commit genocide. I just said it. I said, I want this to be a private conversation between me and you. But then he's looking past me like somebody's listening in. And that's when I knew. And guess what? Instead of a trial, when I was supposed to have a trial, they claim it's supposed to be a bail hearing. This is how corrupt this place is, folks. How could you have a bail hearing for something you already accused me of and sent me through 3 different, because you have a certain time that you could keep somebody 24 hours before you make a charge. If the charge doesn't stick, you have to drop that charge. That happened the last time. So they went to 4 different charges, and the last one, she said, I will, if you do not accept this lesser plea, I will send you, she said this, the judge said this, I will sentence you to be forced medicated for 30 days. And I have it written, it's on paper. They forget that they give their paper. They forget they have their paper genocide stuff. But they were so confident because on the paper they said, oh, inept. But when I went through all of it, they said I wasn't. I was capable of standing trial. Oh my God, girl. So, I don't know. It's not up for me. I know there's a lot of damages in this case. But it's not about the money. How many times they have done this? How many times they have done stuff like this? How many women are suffering right now, or families turn apart. Sorry, my mind. I don't know. They're cut up. All these families, separate them and send them to strangers, because that's another thing. They know you have family. They know you have family. If they're so concerned about your ability, you might harm, do you ever think of harming anybody? These are the type of questions. Like, ask my family and my neighbors. Then, they would say something, oh, the lawyer said she knows you, she'll represent you. I said, no, she doesn't know me. I don't know who that is. She doesn't know me. They're running to hell. Oh, yeah, she knows you from the lot. I'm like, oh, you have such a long dossier. I said, I don't have a dossier. That's your impressions of a person. That's not me. I don't have a dossier. All right? So when you accept something, that's how it sticks. This is, again, it's your mind and your thoughts. They are spelling stuff on you, and you have to let them know right away. So you having some written stuff on a piece of paper that's attached to all capital names that look like me, but it's not me, does not give you the right to take my body, my property, my vessel. I hope you're comprehending the vastness of corruption and genocide, because this is how it happens. And people on the outside, because you are so programmed, stop watching the TV and stuff. Talk to people. Literally just go and talk, have a conversation, and learn the real deal of what's going on. As Trump would say, fake news. Stop it. Let's start living together again. Let's start having communities, or, let's start that again. That's what I've been saying from the beginning. Trade amongst one another, because there's no money. I don't care what they make look prettier, they tell you. Trust me, I've researched everything I could be researched right now. And I'm not saying this stuff to get an audience. I'm saying what I've discovered, folks. And you know what? When I said that at the meeting, there was counselors there that did not deny what I said. As a matter of fact, one of them nodded his head. So, you need to come together, and you need to stop spelling on yourself that you're poor black people. Listen, these people, one of the girls, she knew, like she said, one of the officers or somebody said, oh, there's so much money, because they know what is in the estate. Some of them, they do know, and they express it. A lot of people keep quiet and say it's private. Yes, we were supposed to be in privacy when we get our stuff and all of that, because it's a private person, so you have to be private. No, you can go private and public. And I'm not private right now, because they've been dragging me through the mud. So I have to tell the truth. And people are hiding behind this private life for not telling the truth. I don't know if they're doing it in fear that they're going to lose their car, their home, or whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they made an oath with somebody else. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have allegiance with any foreign entities, with anything. And I'm not at war with anybody. So I'm just going to tell the truth. That's just how it is, folks. I'm just going to tell the truth. And let it fall. Let it fall where it may. I don't think my creator is going to punish me for that, as so many fear that if they, if they behave a certain way or whatever. No, we came to have our experience, and our experience is supposed to bring upliftment and joy in others. And just being who yourself, and knowing and trusting that what your experience is a good experience. Even when it seems like it's a nasty, bad experience, it's something that's gonna help you to evolve. It is meant to do that. Listen, shame is a low vibrational thing. Fear is low vibrational. Jealousy is low vibrational. So, in order to ascend, you have to come out of those things. You have to let go. Let go of the indoctrination of these belief systems. So I'm going to go for a quick break to identify the station. And I want to thank Bay Hill for having me from the beginning. And, just keep it up. Eventually, we'll have the world that we deserve. So listen to Into the Light. Listen to all the other programs that is about upliftment. And we have to get away from that old stale repeat system of doing the same thing over and over and getting no results. Right? That's what's really madness. That's what's real madness. The women in those prisons are not crazy. They're trying to escape. They know what's going on. Some of them can't handle it. Okay? So I'm grateful for the opportunity to see all of it and see how it connects. And I hope this can be inspirational for you to strengthen yourself and go deeper. So let's go for a break. And I know I didn't give you any songs before. I can't even think of any. But I did think of one when I came out. Oh yes, it's not an easy road. That's my ancestors just pinched me with that. Not an easy road. Yes, that would explain my progress right now. It's not an easy road, folks. So let's have that break. Not an easy road, folks. road. No, it's not. It's not an easy road. Yep, it's not an easy road, folks. But it's a road that we chose, believe it or not. And when you let go and just walk your road, it's beautiful. I know it sounds, it's beautiful because you start to see and how, why you're here. You start to see your purpose, you know? I'm sorry, I'm still kind of tearing up. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's overwhelming and it's beautiful. It's satisfying. It's like I'm trying to explain the feeling. It's such a peaceful feeling. They can't take that from you. And that was their biggest fear. That's why they had to get you all drugged up and poisoned with food and all kinds of stuff, because it blocks your connection to your divine essence. And they know that once you experience that, they would be fearful of your power to create, because they found such a beautiful place before that they destroyed it so that you would not remember. You would not remember, you would not appreciate, you would not love, you would not share, you would not be at peace ever until they rid you completely of what you thought, what you knew was true to you. And they were almost successful. We won. Just know that. You're not seeing it now, but we won. It will manifest. You trust it. Trust it. Trust your what comes to you, whether it's in dream or just in your meditation, like just sitting under the tree or when you're planting or whatever. Those thoughts are your higher self, and just trust it. Those things that comes to you like out of the blue, just trust it and know it's coming from your divine essence, your higher self. That's what they hid from you. That's what's hidden. So they had to put doubts. They had to break you down. They have to always let you be needy. Okay? So that you do not discover how truly powerful you are. Well, I discovered how truly powerful I am. And I love it. Not love it in a sense that I want to use it against anybody. I love it because I have the ability to change things. And I know how to change things by staying true to who I am. I love you guys. That's why I'm here. And I want to see a better place. I want to be part of the better tomorrow, because I am in the present in love with who I am, and the fact that love I can extend and it be something that somebody can see and know that it is real. You know what came to me too? Whitney Houston. I had to apologize to her because I understood now. Especially the song she wrote, The Greater Love. that came to me. I don't know all of the words, but that came to me. It's like she was telling me the greatest love of all. So many of these things came to me in my meditations when I was taken. And those were the messages that I held. And, you know, you don't know how powerful you are. Just pull away from the technology, pull away from those things that don't serve you anymore, and go within and do the things that serve you. Do the things that you remember was a very, very important part of you as a young one, like when you were 3 and 4, like those, like when you were on the bay sand. If, say for example, I would refer to the Caribbean because I grew up there, so images of me cooking on the bay sand with my friends and having like parties from the cook, like after pulling the seine and getting the fish, we cooked right there and make our little dumplings, and you know, use the sardine tins to bake, and and then playing with dolls that's made from the breadfruit stuff, and pretending we're getting married and all those things. It was so clean. That's the word. It was so natural. It was so pure. It was real. It was, you know, it was laughter, fun, you know, stuff like that. And how I got around the rules when my grandmother would have, like, I saw a post from a friend that from Paula Oliver. She was recently in St. Vincent. I saw she lives in Florida. I have to mention her name because she posted something about when anyway, it happened to do with when you got licks for doing something. And I remember something that I used to do with my grandmother, right? So we lived right on the beach. So whenever she wanted to punish me, most of the punishment was because I was always in the seawater. And I was like a little fish. She used to call me, "Are you a fish?" Because even on the, you know, the Sabbath or whatever, the Sunday, whatever church day it was, because they changed a few times because, you know, we were indoctrinated into this thing. And I wasn't having it. If I feel like going fishing or swimming, I was going fishing or swimming anyway, and I would take me licks. I'm sorry. That's just my spirit. I told you I was stubborn. But anyway, the first place I would run to was the sea. And then she would be at the shore with the strap in her hand waiting, and it's getting dark, and I'm swimming until she got tired and went in. And by the time she went in, she didn't have no energy again to come and finish the job. So that's Victorious Vaughn. And there are other times when we had 2 beds in our bedroom. So she would pull one bed, I'll roll onto the other one. She'll pull the other one, I'll roll onto the other one, and so forth, till she got tired. And so those are great memories. Like, you know, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Those were the experience that we had to learn who we are. Even my grandmother, later on, she apologized because she evolved and realized certain things. She was at peace. We were at peace before she left. Transition. So I appreciate the lessons and the love that I got from her. And it was awesome. It is awesome. It is great to have these experiences, and I don't mind sharing them. You know, that's what love is. That's what loving yourself and appreciating who you are is about. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Don't let them determine who you are. Don't let piece of paper or, you know, don't ever, like, and one thing I learned in this journey, If you're going to do any kind of identification, don't let them put any photo to anything on a piece of paper. Okay? It's this journey, and you need to protect yourself. Learn about protecting your property, intellectual property, which includes your given name that your mom give you, or whatever. Yeah, that's your inheritance. You know, I've learned so much in this journey. Oh my God, like, wow. With the last 5 years, OMG, I think it was done for me to remember who I am. And I still have more to remember. You know, I have memories of us doing bead work with those red and black beads and the white beads. And those beads were supposed to be powerful somehow. They had a lot to do. Some of them probably has to do with healing. I'm not sure. But I'm supposed to remember all of those things. I remember my cousin making arrows and slingshots. I remember feather work. You know, doing feathers, stuff with feathers. Before, even when it's not the so-called carnival time. So I remember that we are the West Indians. I remember that we are creators. I remember that we are love. I remember how open and welcoming we are to strangers. And was, in a sense, it's our gifts, and it's also our downfall. It's our beauty, and it's also the portal for bad deeds. You know, I don't know how else to express it. It just came out like that, but maybe it's another way to express that. But I think you could get what I'm saying. We are warm. I remember. We are truth. We are productive. We are a special kind of people. We are. Yeah. We are social. We are a social embodiment of what sharing and loving is. We are social animal. Like, you know, we are really social people. Like, we love to love and love to give. Like, think about that. Seriously, we love that. Even though we've been harmed and hurt and abused, we still love that. Despite ourselves. And that's beautiful. We're resilient. You know what? And we have abundance. We sometimes just think poorly of ourselves because of the programming. But this is in a time of a reset. The reset is not just about the system. The reset first comes with your mind and your heart. I mean, our heart, we always, as long as we have breath, we're always loving. I mean, the things that are put forward every day, it looks like we're not loving, but we are love. The media does a poor job of showing that side. They don't show it at all. So we have to do it. You know, what is your story, folks? What is your truth? What is your contribution? Are you waiting to get something? Or are you ready to do something? Question yourself. There are a lot of questions that you can ask yourself. It's not an easy road. Yep, that's for sure. The before I got kidnapped, actually, I was gathering information on jurisdiction, the principles of jurisdiction. I have a PDF on it, actually, but you need to do some homework. I know everybody would say, well, I don't have access to the internet and stuff. Find somebody you know. Find somebody. And then the other day when I was telling someone from St. Vincent here the truth, he turns around and looks and he sees this individual that, I'm not there to insult anybody, I'm telling the truth, that they claim to be First Nation. So I asked him, did I come from them? Or is it the reverse? Because from what I know, it states that the black woman is the only woman that has a specific gene that can create all races. So if you're saying they're the native to Canada and the First Nation of Canada, yes, they might be the First Nation of Canada, but they're not the firstborns of the land. So that was what I said. And it made him think a little bit, but he still went back to saying, because he's programmed. He's completely programmed. This is a waka. Yeah, he's he's a mason person. He does roofing and all kind of stuff like that. And imagine all that, how they trade him around. I'm just saying, all the Vincentian men all the men from the Caribbean who's done work on all these properties up here, you can claim every one of them because you never got paid. Yep, you got monopoly money, folks. And imagine the cha-ching, cha-ching, when all of this is done and you get back you're kings and queens, right? You are the mason, the mound builders. Think about it. They're saying these people are natives. They can't show one structure that they've built or proven that they're built, and you can't find any bodies that matches their description when they dig. It doesn't matter where in the world they dig. Even on Mars. So, folks, if you're not awake by now, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you after this. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but I know who I am. And there are First Nations to Canada and to the United States, yes, if you have the comprehension of what I'm saying. But these nations landed on us. And there's proof of it. So, I don't care what they say, what they put on paper with their legal fiction. Anything that has to do with paper is legal fiction. It is fiction. Right? So, we have a tradition, oral tradition. We tell our story. We speak our story. We sing our story. We do it in poetry. We do it in drums. We do it in dance. We do it in what we do. We do it on the stones. You can't hide it. They try to change the colors, especially in Mexico. But it's obvious those are dreadlocks on those things, man. I don't see any dreadlocks Mexicans that they have today. The Mayans, what they call it, they don't look like the Mayans they have on the stone. Yep. So if you want to still take yourself off the land and say you're black and you're ethnic from Africa, the lands were not called those things. So those are all for paper genocide, huh? Yep. Yep, that's what I've learned. And that's what my ancestors wanted me to tell you. So that you can learn how to maneuver and to tell it orally. Me de pa mi land. Me na de pa your ship. Me na a citizen of St. Vincent. Me na a citizen of Canada. And me na a citizen of the United States. Me de pa mi land. I usurp me authority and me take them back. Me take them back because this is for me land, and I get them, and I get my what belongs to me. Huh? All the resources on the land belong to we. And that are for me jurisdiction. I can talk French, I can talk British, I can talk German, I talk what for talk. I not tell the truth. This a free land, and I not take them. Okay? And me not pay nothing for them. Me not pay nothing for me resources. Me not pay nothing for ship. Oh God, are you wicked? With all them barrel and all the name and all the trading. Are you wicked? Oh Lord, are you wicked, boy? That's how we tradition be. I will tell our story. And I not stop me. Are you wicked? Are you soulless? Are you forget the death penalty? Are you for move away from here? If I continue, we not bother with I. And that's our story. Me sign me name. Me not sign nothing. Me not have to sign nothing. And me never sign nothing for nobody. And that's all, folks. I'm not doing the full time because, like I said, I am limited in my data. And I am just so grateful for the opportunity to share, you know. Be who you are for spite. Have a good night. Peace and love.